What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block for June 23rd, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me, as always, the Nintendo... I don't know. And I'm running out of nicknames for you. Edward Parnell.
Woo-hoo!
Ed.
Hi.
I'm so excited.
Yes!
I'm so excited.
Super excited.
And you know why I'm excited? Because Pow Block has its first guest.
What?
You know him. You love him. Heard him on NGR radio 30, 40 times by now.
Okay.
El Capitan himself, Ray Osorio.
Yay!
What's going on, guys? Rise above.
Ray.
Yes.
For those who somehow listen to Pow Block and not NGR radio, remind everybody real quick where you're actually from.
Okay, so I am actually out of Central New York. I am a gamer dad. I'm giving you guys a little bit of an intro for those who may not be familiar. So I live in Central New York with my best friends, Becky and Lee. We do our podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which is for Phoenix Overdrive, our Extra Life team, and charity that we host for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. You can find me playing everything from PlayStation to PC, Wii U, even though it's kind of dead now, RIP. 3DS.
Not yet.
That Zelda DLC is coming.
That's true.
And Just Dance 2018.
Yeah, we've already just decided that $50 an hour we're going to be doing it for Extra Life.
Right? Yeah, no, yeah. Lee's like, I'll do it if we do. He said some music. He said if we can do that, he'll do it. But yeah, so we talk about games and we talk about like the social status in gaming, kind of bringing topics about parents and things like parenting in gaming because we're all gaming parents. And then I met all these wonderful people like Corey and Ed and Matt, and now Moose is on NGR and everyone. It's just like I call you guys what I have my term for all of us is the podcast brethren. Just because like I'm doing a show with one of my podcast brothers tonight. Like usually it's Corey. I'm still awaiting the elusive Nintendo Guru invite from Bobby Pauls. I don't think I'm ever going to get it because of all the salt that I had about the Switch. I think he's holding something against me. But no, it's great to be here with you guys and kind of talk some Nintendo and things like that. So because I'm a Nintendo kid at heart, I grew up playing Nintendo games and they have a place near and dear to my heart, except after the Wii, Nintendo kind of broke my heart some. So we'll see what the Switch comes to do, and maybe they'll get me back on board.
Yes, dude, the Switch is awesome. So Ray, how this show works, I'm sure you know, but like we talk about what we're playing, buzz through some of the new stuff, and today we're going to talk about what we like, get more in depth of what we liked about E3. So what did we do? What did we do on Monday's show? Ed, we just kind of ran through E3, and that was kind of like Ed and I broke down E3, but today we kind of want to dive into like 2 or 3 things that we really, really loved about what Nintendo showed. So, but anyways, talking about Switch, I played so much ARMS yesterday. ARMS is fantastic. I have a new main. I played enough to have a main in ARMS. So, Ribbon Girl is awesome. Gosh, ARMS is so good. Except there's like this target breaking mini game, and like if you're using I always forget that the joysticks don't move your character. You actually have to like tilt the Joy-Con one way or the other to go one way, and then you press the right bumper to jump and the left bumper to dash. So like I'm still trying to figure out the controls, but there's this target breaking mini game that I cannot beat because of the controls, and I need to switch to the Pro controller to do it. But I actually really do like the motion controls for what they are. They actually work. If you're curving a punch, you can actually watch your punch curve, and you can actually steer your punch, which is cool. Like after you throw it, you can actually move it back to the if you're punching to the right, and you can move it back to the left. So that's really cool. I played around with a bunch of the fighters. some of them do feel heavier than others. It's cool. It's interesting. I don't know if ARMS is going to take off, but I see a lot of potential in like a sequel if they ever do one.
Well, it's weird. When they first revealed ARMS, and we always having that discussion, and people, like I said, really didn't care about it. But now after the test punch, people fell in love with it, and then the second test punch, people were like, okay, I now understand the game, so I'm gonna buy it. We don't know the sales numbers or anything like that, but a lot of people are still playing it, and I think it's a great workout game. For, you know, if you want to lose weight, or if you want to kind of, it may build up strength with all the motion, like motion of punching and stuff. It's going to be interesting to see this at Evo tournaments and stuff like that. But I'm glad to hear that you like it, Corey. Definitely, it's a game that I'm definitely going to be picking up when I get my Switch.
Yeah, I was a little worried, and I think it came out at a good time. Like, if you own a Switch and you're looking for something to play, like, I think ARMS coming out now is a good time because, like, you know, Splatoon's coming, Mario & Rabbids is coming in August, which looks like the most ridiculous, awesome game I've ever wanted. Like, I hated the idea of the Rabbids, but Mario XCOM sounds freaking awesome.
I forgot to tell you this, Corey. So at work today, we have a section called World of Nintendo for toys. And today we got in 2 guns from Splatoon that you actually could use as paint guns.
Oh, jeez, that's awesome.
So, and it got its own animal. I forgot which one it is. Which one guns it is. I think it's like the basic gun that you start off with the game, and then it's like some kind of buster thing. I forgot the name of it. But they have the cartridges of ink, and then they have like the guns separately and stuff. And I was just like, you guys are now just selling this before the game comes out? Because they only have plushies and stuff and collectors of Splatoon, but now they got the official guns. So I'm going to see how that works out for the summer.
Awesome. I can't wait for Splatoon. Like, I love Splatoon.
Oh, my girls love Splatoon a whole lot, except my middle daughter, Evangelina. You guys know Evie. She's my rage quitter in the group. So she would get angry when her big sister would beat her, and then because of things like that. So it's just like she's just like, nope, big sis beat me, I'm gonna rage quit now and then make you regret kind of, you know, letting me play this. But she loves fighting games. Like, she loves Street Fighter, she loves Injustice now. Like, she got to play Injustice the other day and she's just like, yeah, Dad, I love this game. You know, and so they always want to bug me to, and then Smash Brothers, of course.
Yeah.
You know, they love their Smash Brothers, but they always play as all the princesses and stuff like that, like Peach and, you know, that kind of stuff, so they have fun.
I wonder what she would do if you had her play all the Neo Geo fighters and Primal Rage.
Oh, I've had her play some of the old school fighters, like we played Street Fighter 2 sometimes, and that's where her love of Street Fighter 2, so it was kind of me passing the torch to my daughter. Because I was a semi-pro Street Fighter 2 player back in the day, like 9-10 years old, sitting in the arcades wrecking 40-year-old dudes, you know, at the arcade cabinet, taking the quarters. People were putting their quarters up, and I'm like, all right, next.
Now we know the origins of El Capitan. That's his
You should have her play Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Oh man, no! I can't even go back to play that game. No.
I just want to see it. Be like, we had to go when I was growing up. This is one of the games that we had to play.
Yeah, and we had the most non-American guile ever.
Yeah, I was just thinking of Mortal Kombat 2. I still think that's one of the best games out of the Mortal Kombat franchise.
It was so bad though when you played, because all my cousins were like Sega kids. So you go play it on Sega. The number one, the D-pad on the Genesis controller sucked.
Oh, yes.
Number two, the button layout was terrible.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, so I got to push these 2 buttons to do the same thing unless you had the Super Genesis controller that had the extra buttons.
The 6
one had the ABC, XYZ. Yeah, the 6 buttons.
Yeah.
Because oh man, it was so bad.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo had Sweat. Remember Nintendo had the sweat instead of blood?
Yeah, you had to use the Game Genie to get blood from the Mortal Kombat 1. But when they got the rating system on and Mortal Kombat 2 came out, you see that M rating on the Super Nintendo, and this just blew the Genesis out. That's actually how I got better at Mortal Kombat 2, was playing it on Super Nintendo and then taking my skill to the arcade. That was so good, where you was bad at arcade games, but you got the home console version, and you went back and used your home console skills to play the arcade version, and it worked.
Arcades were the best. I miss the multiplayer brawlers though from arcades, like the Simpsons.
Oh yeah,
the Simpsons and Ninja Turtles.
The Simpsons arcade and Ninja Turtles. Do you remember X-Men: Children of the Atom?
Yes. So Ray, the arcade place that I go to, Galloping Ghost, you probably see him post on my Facebook page. It has the 6 button arcade one, so it has the 2 screens of the X-Men game.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. We're taking Corey completely off track with the gaming tangent.
Matt's not here, and the tangents are still happening.
It's all my fault.
Well, speaking of playing Nintendo, because you're playing ARMS, I'm playing Dragon Quest VIII on the 3DS. And it's still good, like the PS2 version. But what I actually like about this one, they added a fast forward mode, a turbo mode for the fights, so it is quicker. It makes grinding faster, and I think because of Bravely Default having that ability to fast forward your fights and stuff, it makes combat, so interesting and worth getting into. So definitely for Dragon Quest VIII, it really is needed. So hopefully it cuts down my grinding time to maybe 45 hours now. I can finally beat this game. Well, second time beat this game, because it took me 65 hours to beat it on PlayStation 2. So
yeah.
But yeah.
So we're gonna get into what we were playing so we can get back on track, so that way Corey doesn't want to murder us all.
I never want to murder anybody. I just always, sometimes I fall asleep when I hear you guys talk about music on NGR. I just take a little nap, kind of like Matt did during E3 last year, or during the infamous Crota raid from last year.
Yeah, that was funny because both Corey and I were both there. We're just like, is he still kneeling? He's kneeling, and then he was still kneeling by the crystal in Crota, in the main Crota room, and we're just like, okay. And then he woke up when it was all over. Like Joey, Corey, and I were talking still in the party, and he woke up like, what? We're like, Matt, what? You're still here? And he's like, yeah, I fell asleep.
That's happened to me. My friends, we were playing Tales of Symphonia on GameCube, and suddenly the characters stopped moving. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing this boss fight by myself. Both of my friends fell asleep with the controller in their hand. I'm like, really? We're all in the same room doing a boss fight, and y'all fall asleep on me.
Man.
Just.
Yeah, so, Corey, go ahead and let's get this show on the road, so that way we're not taking up your time. And because I can sit here and talk about arcade gaming, classic gaming, retro gaming.
I know.
All day.
Know. You
can do that in optional opinion.
Okay, so there's a few news stories that came out after E3. Shocking. Stuff wasn't shown at E3. But the first thing I really want to dive into is, we saw the Metroid Prime logo, and they mentioned Pokemon on Switch. They came out with a quote yesterday in an interview, and, some of these Nintendo fan sites that post everything they hear, I kind of get a little hesitant to say things and stuff, and then some of these other bigger sites started posting this quote, and then, so I thought maybe we should discuss this, because we all know Nintendo is actually having a killer 2017, and games are coming out, and then actually Amazon leaked the release date of Skyrim for Switch today, which is November 28th, so that's another game I gotta prepare for, but somebody asked Charlie Scabata, I hope that's how I say his name. He's the Nintendo of America Corporate Communications Director. He pretty much handles everything that Reggie can't, or Bill Trennan can't, from the Treehouse side. So during an interview, he said, "We've announced a nice lineup through this year, and next year we have some big games coming with Metroid Prime 4. 2018 will focus around the releases of Metroid, Kirby, Yoshi, Pikmin, and the new Pokemon game that has been announced. We feel good about the lineup for this year and beyond." Pretty much saying that Nintendo is targeting a 2018 release date for Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon and the new Pikmin game.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I mean, with that, I mean, I've never thought I would ever say this about Nintendo, and I've said this multiple times in the past month. Nintendo has way too much coming out, like right now, and way too much coming out in the future. Like, we have one big game at least a month for the rest of the year, and heading into next year. So, I mean, Metroid Prime 4 for next year. I thought for sure, Ed, didn't I not say this on Monday to you? Like, Metroid Prime is probably a 2019 holiday game.
Yeah.
That's what you said. That's what you said after E3 when we were on the show when we did the like reactions to E3. You're like, yeah, that's probably a 2019 game.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's gonna come out in 2018, unless we see, because at E3 they'll probably have a trailer, and hopefully Treehouse is playing it again, and they announce today. If they don't announce anything, and we don't get a direct for 2018 for Metroid Prime 4, then we'll definitely get it sometime in 2019. We won't get it for holiday though. I think we'll get it for spring or summer. Because I wouldn't know what's the right time to release a Metroid game.
November.
Or
October. It'd be where the Mario game is this year. Like, because you look at Pokemon, that's going to be their November game, right? Obviously, Pokemon comes out in November. Every time they announce one, it comes out like clockwork in November, right? So they want that big October game to lead into November.
But I think you want to separate those two heavy hitters.
I mean, they're not separating Odyssey and Ultra Sun and Moon and Xenoblade.
Nope.
Yeah, but those are two different platforms, though.
That's true. I think
because the big thing about it is they put most of their promotion. They show most of 2017 focusing on Mario Odyssey. So that's their big hitter that they're betting on for 2017.
Well, I think Nintendo would focus on Metroid because technically Pokemon is the Pokemon company, and that they'll leave that to the Pokemon company to promote, even though they do directs and stuff, and so.
Right, they do their directs and stuff, but like business wise, like if everybody for a Nintendo side for their business, if they really want to focus on having a heavy hitter, Metroid would have to come in earlier, so that when people get done with Metroid, then they could easily be able to get Pokemon for Switch, because you're going to have to spend $120 either way.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to budget for the holiday, you're going to have to choose one or the other. And if they release two versions of Pokemon for Switch on top of Metroid Prime 4, that's 3 games already. And so now you just jumped up to 180. And depending if you now want to get Metroid Samus Returns and they re-release Amiibo, now you're at almost about $250 already if you decide you want to get both games of Pokemon, Metroid Prime 4, Samus Return, and with the Metroid Amiibo, and probably maybe Pokemon Amiibo. And that's more money.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand Pokemon is set for November. That's the best time to release it. I kind of would start if I was going to do it, I would have to be like, okay, Metroid would have to come out in August, or it has to come out maybe in the first or second week of September. Like, it has to hit a fall date. It can't go before Christmas. Because if it does, that's going to hurt sales for that game. Because Pokemon is just going to dominate it.
Yeah. What do you think, Ray?
All right, so my thing is that I think Nintendo is going to do the exact opposite of what Ed's saying. They're going to release it holiday season anywhere from September through December, or maybe even we may see some late August ones. We're gonna because any other gaming company continues to release their games through the. Well, I mean, we may see one get moved to the spring or be summer and then spring later, but it'll be. They're going to put their heavy hitter. Pokemon are going to be a late October, early November game. Samus Returns may be the one that may get moved to summer, or it may be like an August release or something like that. But you're going to see, those games. They're still going to come, probably in that holiday window because that's when Nintendo Nintendo usually does it. And right now. By then, I really hope they have their supply constraints figured out because that is something they did recently apologize for, stating that starting with Splatoon, they will go ahead and they will have it to where. Sorry for the background, by the way, guys. They will have it to where they're going to have a lot of bundles available for starting with Splatoon going forward. So hopefully, once Nintendo gets that figured out. Then that'll give them the ability to be able to move more hardware via the software and things like that because they do have a lot of releases, like Corey said, set up for 2017. It's 2018 that's going to be the mystery factor on how successful it is.
I think because isn't it rumored that I think Apple's iPhone 8 and the Switch somehow uses the same chip? Or something, some kind of chip or something that they both use.
I think they use the same supplier in terms.
They use the same They use the same basic manufacturer that makes not so much makes the chips but assembles it all. So they have to do it within cycles. Yeah. So
because I think Apple has I don't know how much I don't know if Apple paid more than Nintendo for that to happen, but. They're the ones that got most of the production over the Switch. So that's why we don't have more Switches coming out. And I think once iPhone 8 releases, I think the production will ramp up. And it'll probably be like 3 times the production. So we'll be getting more for the holiday next year.
Yeah, I really think Nintendo has always been the, quote, master of supply constraints, right? So but this time, in terms of it's a different situation than the Wii, but it's similar, right? Because Nintendo is still giving us something to be excited about, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now, still to where people who don't necessarily get one, today or at the holiday or maybe even next spring, I feel like they could bundle Pokemon with it. I don't think they want to bundle Metroid with it because I feel like they would be concerned that, they're not. I guess what I'm saying is they can afford to lose money on the Switch if they bundle Pokemon in it because they're going to sell way more Pokemon than they are of Metroid. That's just a fact, right? But, I think releasing Pokemon in November for Black Friday. For bundles, that type of reason would be smart. And then Metroid would be, I don't know if you would put it in October because October is really a heavy month of, third-party stuff for other consoles. People are trying to wait.
That's why I said August.
I think maybe they would try to put it out in September, August-September realm, beginning of September, kind of where Destiny or, where Shadow of War originally was supposed to land, that kind of area. Or they would just push it to spring 2019 where, there isn't as many third-party games where people seem to be competing for first-party titles. So, I could see it slip into early 2019 if whatever he's saying, we're aiming for 2018, if that slips, right. I could see them releasing it in, the February, March area where Horizon and Zelda kind of landed.
Because I could see 2018, if let's say they do a direct for Kirby and they do a direct for Yoshi, or just do a direct more information where we get some dates. I can see Well, Kirby will actually have to wait to the fall because Kirby sells around the holidays big time. Like holiday releases for Kirby for Christmas time sells huge. I would probably say what would be good for Nintendo would be maybe get Pikmin out for the spring, maybe like in April. Hit Yoshi in like July. Do Metroid in September. Do probably do well Pokemon will be November, and probably do Kirby like in October, because I don't know what that December game will be. But if they get enough Kirby's out and the word is out, if you get Kirby before you get Pokemon, both will sell well on Switch.
Yeah, but would you like put two games out in similar time frames that are kind of aimed at the same audience?
Not Kirby. Kirby sells more to kids than Pokemon and Metroid, because Metroid sells more to the
like our
adult,
age range.
like our age range, and there might be some teens who, if their parents get them into it. Kirby sells a lot during the holiday to a lot of kids because they do come in, and if they can't get it on 3DS, they will ask their parents to buy them a Switch to get Kirby. So that's a system seller and there's a game attachment to that system. And then Pokemon, it's just a whole range of kids and parents getting it.
Yeah, plus
Now,
plus we have to consider like the games that they haven't announced yet. Like they've announced 3 big multiplayer games for Switch this year. You got to assume Smash, it will probably be, if we get like a December Direct, like Smash could be the December Direct for next year, you know? Like maybe they'll end with like, hey, here's more information on Kirby and Yoshi if they're coming earlier in the year. Although I think you would want to spread Yoshi and Kirby out somewhere in there. But like, you know, if we get more information on those games and end with a Smash announcement, you got to figure Smash might be some big multiplayer thing next year. So.
Yeah, and if Smash does come up the Switch, I think Smash would be a good fill-in for that system to make sure that there's not a long release of waiting time of a game.
Yeah. All right, so the next couple things are kind of small. The new 3.0 update allows you to add Wii U and 3DS friends to your Switch friends list. It allows you to use the Pokken Tournament controllers, and it allows you to use, there was a third-party GameCube adapter for the Wii U, and it allows you to use that for GameCube controllers, which is cool. So that's, if you're looking for more control options, that's one thing. And then lastly, the Super Mario Odyssey kingdoms have upwards of 30 to 50 power moons in each kingdom. So that's a lot more than the 6 or 7 from Super Mario 64, which I was totally expecting like 15 at max in each kingdom. But there's 30 to 50 moons in each kingdom.
Holy cow, that's a lot.
So, and
Exactly.
they showed off, what, 4 kingdoms? I mean, if you take the minimum and say 30 in each of those, that's 120 right there. And we know there's way more kingdoms than that. They confirm that. So
Nice.
Odyssey, that game looks really, really cool. I like the, you know, possession mechanic, even though Nintendo came out and said there's no possession in Odyssey whatsoever. It's the capture mechanic because you're throwing your cap at the enemies. But yeah, Odyssey is going to be really interesting. I really hope that, you know, they capitalize on this because it's cool. It's real cool.
There'll be 2 copies in my home. My mom will have her own, and I'll have mine. So,
For which one? Which game was that? Sorry.
Odyssey, Mario Odyssey.
Oh, Odyssey is going to be something great, I think. Yeah, I'm really, really interested to see what they do with that. I still think it's kind of weird having Mario and then having actual like regular humans, because technically Mario is the human in the Mushroom Kingdom. So it's like, has he been in the Mushroom Kingdom so long that he's like permanently this cartoon character now, or what?
I really want to know if Donkey Kong's in the game because what's her name? Pauline.
Paulina.
Paulina is the mayor of New Donk City, so that's interesting.
Who knows? No Nintendo, they probably got him hit him somewhere, or he's like, his world is a hidden world. Because it would be cool for Mario to actually go to a stage or a level that's designed like Donkey Kong Country or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, they've already kind of teased a little Donkey Kong Mario merging in the Mario Rabbids thing with the really scary looking Donkey Kong rabbit.
Dude, it's still not as bad as the Princess Peach rabbit. Jeez, that thing's terrifying.
Yeah. Did you see that she has an Instagram now?
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's terrifying.
That's marketing at its best.
Oh, jeez. So that's kind of all the big news, because I know we want to kind of talk a little bit more about the games we liked at E3. So, got a lot of cool stuff from E3, and
Yes.
I just kind of want to talk about like what our 2 or 3 favorite things from E3 were. Games, the in-depth stuff, kind of what we saw. Like if you want to know everything that got announced, check out our last episode. But this is more of a kind of a more in-depth of what we liked. So, Ray, I guess we'll start with you since you're the guest.
So of course, I have to go with my love of Fire Emblem. So Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yes.
It's like
Ray's the only other person that's like the biggest Fire Emblem fan that I know besides me.
I'm technically playing Fire Emblem right now as we're talking.
I haven't started Shadows yet.
Corey's been too busy giving his Switch all his love. He won't play Fire Emblem.
I still gotta pick up the Amiibo.
I downloaded it, but I pulled out my 3DS because I really want to play Samus Returns when it comes out.
Yes.
And so I'm like, man, I guess the 3DS has got to stick around for a little bit longer.
Yeah. And then of course as soon as they showed off the whole thing, technically they gave us a kind of like a spoiler look at Ubisoft's conference. When they showed us the Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, because it's like, wait, why does that battle system seem familiar? And then looking at it, it's like, like XCOM. That's awesome. So yeah, so there's that, and then what else was there? I mean, I guess the whole excitement about the new Pokemon. I don't give the Pokemon games their due much anymore because I don't have time to like hardcore play them the way I used to play the prior gen. The last set of Pokemon games that I really played hardcore were probably Diamond and Pearl. Like, so it's been a while since I've played like Pokemon games hardcore. Like usually now if I get the games, like I didn't get the Black and White and Black and White 2. I didn't play those. I completely missed over those that gen of Pokemon. But kind of hyped to see that they're finally like doing something that I said they needed to do, which was bring a mainline Pokemon game to Switch, because they can't continue to support 8-year-old hardware, 10-year-old hardware by specs. You know,
I said that they wouldn't do it for a console and they wouldn't bring it to Switch because it makes too much money on their handhelds. But I guess now I was But now I realized, once they announced it, I'm just like, okay, that's cool. People still could do now. People still could trade when they're on the go with other Switch users. Maybe it'll interact with 3DS users also for Ultra Sun and Moon. Who knows? We don't know much. Many questions about it, but I was just like, as a main story, as a main line Pokemon. Because I think of those functionalities, they wouldn't bring it over. But I went from a business perspective of it, that they make too much money on the 3DS, so it would never.
Here's my theory. With all that Pokemon Go money, they've hired another team to just make the handheld version, and then they also have a Switch version coming. That's my theory. And
yeah.
Then, I can't see them, especially since Nintendo said they're going to be supporting the 3DS beyond 2018 with stuff. I can't see them totally abandoning the biggest franchise on that handheld, but at the same time, like moving to Switch, since the Switch is the future, I think they're kind of playing both sides a little bit.
I'm thinking they'll get one more mainline Pokemon game on 3DS after Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and that'll probably be it.
But see, the Pokemon Company makes buku bank, and not from only Nintendo. You got the cards that continually sell out, and those collectors' items, like the cards, like they're $5, almost $5 a pack. Folks are buying about 3 to 5 packs per day. So there's kids.
When people are analyzing where the Pokemon Company makes all of its money, it's actually in merchandise, meaning the T-shirts, the plushies, all the extra stuff that goes along with it, not the games and not the cards. It's made all through their merchandising.
But you got to admit that the Pokemon Company, when they started off, were making money from the games. Because like the store when I don't know when the cards came and stuff, but a lot of people weren't buying the cards when they first came out, and then somehow it just blew up because a lot of kids don't know that Pokemon started off as a video game. The Yu-Gi-Oh card game craze was such a big thing that when Pokemon got into the card game, it started making money that way, like buku bucks. And playing off from that.
You do realize that Pokemon came before the Yu-Gi-Oh craze, right? Yeah. The Pokemon card game?
I thought there was a Yu-Gi-Oh one because
no, Yu-Gi-Oh was 2002.
Yeah,
I played both. I played both.
Because I was getting Pokemon
was 1998.
I was getting
But Pokemon was out for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Like the video game was out before it jumped into the game.
Right. The video game came first, and then the card game came after the video game. But Yu-Gi-Oh came way after Pokemon.
I thought it was Yu-Gi-Oh because I think since Yu-Gi-Oh was a card-based anime,
I think the popularity of Yu-Gi-Oh like propelled the Pokemon
cards. But because I didn't see.
I do know the cards came before because I remember I have that whole set sitting in my parents' basement somewhere of that original set, and the boxes still say 1998, 1999 on them. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how they do Pokemon on Switch. I hope it's not another Gale of Darkness situation. I enjoyed that game, but that was not a quote real Pokemon game. What I really want is Pokemon Red and Blue 2 for Switch. That's really what I want. I think they need to start small and then add on because they've never made a console RPG before. So
bring Ash back.
I mean, I don't even care about that. You create your avatar guy and you run through a big, huge 3D model of Pokemon Red and Blue, but make it more in depth, make the towns bigger, make more objectives. It's got to be a full-fledged 50 to 60 hour RPG in terms of the story length, and then you do the end game with the breeding and the fighting your friends and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think they'll have more to do like cinematics and more voiceovers and stuff like that.
Yeah, because
of the Switch.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's what they got to do. I think you start small, and my dream would be for that Red and Blue, because that's that's what we all started with, right? Was Red and Blue. So and I have such an affinity for those Pokemon and those my team. I still have my red cartridge sitting over there with my team, and it's just.
You better find a way to back that up, Corey, because that battery is not going to last forever.
I mean, it's probably already dead, but I have it on my 3DS. I have Red on my 3DS.
I forgot to tell you, Corey. Boo for Red. Blue is where it's at.
Well, I
was Team Blue.
I mean, I have all three of them. That was just Red was the one that I got all 150 on.
And I'll be the fact checker here. So, Konami launched the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game late 1997, and it came to the United States well after that. because in 2002, Upper Deck was publishing it here in the United States. So that's when we got the Yu-Gi-Oh craze after the anime. But the Pokemon trading card game actually began in 1996 initially with a short release, but then they basically redid it in 1997 and 98, like revamping the trading card game.
Yeah.
So technically, Pokemon did come first.
Come out first. Did it come to America in '96 when they first did it, or it was just Japan?
I think it was 98. I want to say
because like I remember
because Wizards of the Coast, who also does Magic, were the publishers in the United for all territories outside of Asia and Japan for it. So that's when I remember it came. Then there was a big thing when the Pokemon Company actually took over publishing of the cards in 2003. And then that's like the same thing that happened with Yu-Gi-Oh, where Upper Deck did it through 2008, and then Konami took it back over from Upper Deck because there was a big lawsuit and all this other stuff.
Right, because the cards for Yu-Gi-Oh says Konami, like in like the bottom right corner of it.
Yeah, they did say Konami, but before they were published by Upper Deck, and Upper Deck is, yeah. And actually, as of 2009, the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game is the biggest trading card game by the Guinness Book of World Records, selling over 22 billion cards worldwide. I'm pretty sure as of 2011, they've sold 25 billion cards worldwide. So Yu-Gi-Oh is technically the bigger card game.
But more people are buying Pokemon cards. Yu-Gi-Oh, I wonder if that's more for adults and stuff, because I think a lot of people who buy Pokemon cards, definitely in my area, they're buying it for kids, but they're also buying it like for birthdays. They're buying like the big collector sets, and not much Yu-Gi-Oh stuff moves out. I think the only merchandise there is out for Yu-Gi-Oh is the cards.
I think the thing too is that Pokemon sustained its popularity, whereas Yu-Gi-Oh was more of like a flash in the pan style thing, at least from my experience.
So it's still very popular.
I mean, like,
it's just a matter
it has its core fan base, but I feel like Pokemon
is adding more fans every day because as more
whereas
kids
like
become
Yu-Gi-Oh
more aware,
has its hardcore, like, you know, it's the same thing as like, you know, like other anime stuff where like, you know, Dragon Ball has this wide audience where like even casual fans or non-fans know what it is, whereas you get deep down into something you would find on Crunchyroll that's just, you know, translated like that's how I kind of feel like Pokemon is like has this wide audience where even people that don't care about video games or Nintendo at all.
Yeah, the big thing about the Pokemon trading card game is that you don't have to be a fan of actually playing the trading card game, because people like to collect it just because they like to collect their favorite Pokemon.
That was me.
Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, the more of the people actually buy and play get the cards so they can play the game.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Pokemon, you're like, oh, I'm a big Magikarp fan, let's say, so I'm going to collect all the Magikarp and the Gyarados and the Mega Gyarados and this. And, oh, Pikachu's kind of cute. I'll collect those. And, oh, I like this and I like that. And, so you start finding your favorites, and then you start collecting those. Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, it really doesn't, it's not really worthwhile to collect just to collect them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I remember, before we move on, I remember when I was first doing Pokemon cards, I had 2 starter sets of Series 1, and I traded a sealed starter set for a foil Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. A sealed starter set, because the person I was trading it for, every starter set came with a foil Machamp, and like he wanted it, and I was like, okay, well, I'll trade you this for those, and that's how I got my foil stuff. So I was pretty happy.
There you go.
Yeah, and I have a binder with all like the final evolutions are all foil cards.
Nice.
And I went to, I think, Toys R Us when they were releasing the Mew card for something. I think if you bought like $20-something worth of Pokemon card merchandise or something. You got the Mew card or something, like way back when. I don't know if it was Toys R Us or not, but I have a foil Mew card sitting at the end of that binder, and that was like, all right, I'm good. So, but okay, so back to E3.
Yes.
I was really impressed that, I mean, like the Kirby and Yoshi games were cool, that, you know, to know they're coming, but I was really impressed that Nintendo went out of their way to say that they were being built on Unreal 4, and to be like, look, we're using this so that, you know, people can know what they can build with with Unreal 4 for our system, you know. And I was really impressed that they went out of their way to do that. I thought Yoshi looked adorable, and it was more of like a plushy Yoshi than a woolly world Yoshi. Like, I went back and watched that trailer because a lot of people were like, "This is a follow-up to Woolly World," and I'm like, I don't think so. This is more like cardboard cutout shapes and stuff. And the Yoshi that they were using is totally a plush Yoshi. It's not wool.
Yes.
It's more like a stuffed animal style Yoshi. But I can't wait for that because Yoshi's Woolly World was awesome.
Oh, I love that game.
Yoshi.
That game was that game was so hard to get everything. To get everything to go through.
Yes.
Like, I can't wait to do that again. And I was
that's a game I gotta get for my girls because they've been asking me for it.
Yeah.
Eventually, when I gotta get it for them.
Yeah, that game, it's a solid platformer. And if you use the amiibo, you get another Yoshi to eat and throw, which is great. The other game that I'm super excited for was Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yes.
Totally giving off Final Fantasy IX vibes, and I want to see how they merge the storytelling from 1 and the giant world from 2, which is what they said they're going for. They hired new writers, and it actually came out today in an interview that Tetsuya Nomura is designing characters for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is crazy that Square is involved in this game.
I have got to get an art book. If they put out an art book, I have got to get it.
I can't wait for this game. It's going to be just, I mean, the first 2 were super intimidating because, like, I mean, it's the same reason why Zelda was intimidating, but, like, the portability of the Switch, I can just grind out some stuff on the couch and play the big story moments on the TV. Like, I'm really gonna sink my time into this game. Oh, this looks so good.
Yes.
And then of course, Rabbids, Mario and Rabbids XCOM awesomeness. So that's what I'm excited for. Ed, I guess that leaves you.
Yes. So my 3 top games that I'm picking: number 1, Sushi Strikers: The Way of the Sushido. I love sushi. I want to attack people with plates. I seen it. It has kind of the artwork style from Elite Beat Ages, and I love that. So I seen this game, and I flipped, and I yelled, and I was just like, what is this crazy wackiness? Because I love when Nintendo is being wacky and creative with some of their games, and this is literally up my alley. Like, this is a day 1 purchase for me. Like, and it has kind of like an RPG element, and I was just like, this is all me day 1. I don't care if anyone want to be negative about it. They don't plan on getting it. I need this game. Like I seen it, and I was just like, yep, day 1 for me. Just, you mentioned sushi. I could hit people with plates. That's my kind of game. Another one is Metroid Returns, Samus Returns. It really mixes Team Ninja, Other M, and like a fast-paced Metroid game, 2D, together. And plus, I didn't finish the Game Boy version. I'm gonna get yelled at. But I really can't wait to play this game. It looks like they added a whole bunch of new stuff, and so I'm really excited to see what is coming along with that.
Those melee finishers. Sorry to interrupt with one thing on Samus Returns. Like, I know a lot of people are gonna say, why aren't you excited for Metroid? That's all you clamored for on all of your shows for like 3 years, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, okay. I am excited for Metroid. I just want to see more of Metroid Prime 4. But before I get super excited. But the finishing moves in Samus Returns look awesome. They just like, you get up real close and she does this cool acrobatic flips and stuff. Like, yes, count me in for that. Count me in for some super awesome up close Samus action.
Yes, and it seems that a lot of people were trying to develop the game, pitching it to Nintendo, and I guess Mercury System probably had the. Seems like they had the best one when they pitched it to Nintendo, and it kind of feel like Mercury System might be in the spotlight for, like, good, looking good, because after that Castlevania that came out for PS4. PS3, that second Castlevania, that one didn't really do so well for them. So it's good to see them.
I know a lot of people are worried that Mercury Steam is working on this game. Look, the base game is already there, right?
Right.
And I'm sure Nintendo has an extremely large amount of say in what happens in this game. They're not going to put out, for lack of better terms, they're not going to put out a shit product that, people have been clamoring for years. They saw the lashback on Federation Force. They saw the lashback on Other M. They're not going to let that happen to Metroid again because they want people to buy Metroid. And so, I think Mercury Steam's first Castlevania game, I played a little bit of it. It was okay. Castlevania's not for me, but I know it was praised well. And that 3DS game is relatively split. So I don't know.
Right.
I will buy it because I love Metroid and I want to see what they can add to that formula. But I think people just need to calm down a little bit about this Mercury Steam stuff. Like, they're obviously still in business for a reason. They've obviously somewhat know what to do with an IP. Castlevania, whatever. Like, they made 1.5 good games, I'll say, out of 3. And their idea was interesting. So they have good ideas. So, and with Nintendo's oversight and not lack of Konami's oversight, I think they'll be fine.
And I think that after Castlevania that PS3 game came out, that sequel, I think Nintendo and Mercury System probably been working for years to get that game to make it what it is now, because for them to show it now and for it to be out September 29th, like be out in September, that's, y'all been working on this game for years and y'all really kept it under wraps.
Mm-hmm. I'd probably say like 2 years they've probably been working on this.
Yeah, but shoot, nobody's been talking about Mercury System after that Castlevania game came out, and that's almost maybe 4 or 5 years. No, that's a long time.
I mean, that's like last gen, like PS3, like what PS4 has been out for 4 years, and it came out that summer beforehand, right? So
yes,
2013.
I think so. Yes. So, but my last one is definitely Breath of the Wild DLC and all the amiibo that they show for Metroid, for Breath of the Wild, and I think Mario Odyssey. All that amiibo looks just fantastic. But that Breath of the Wild DLC just looks so good. I can't wait to do the trials so I could get.
I actually need to play Breath of the Wild now that it's summer and I don't have so many crazy responsibilities with running around with the girls all summer and stuff, because they're going to be primarily with me anyway. So I'm probably going to finally sit down and be like, it's time.
Yeah. But I love what they're doing. It looks very challenging. I kind of want to see how speedrunners tackle the hard mode. Yeah, I want to see it all, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that DLC. So those are my 3, because we already know that for me personally, Xenogears, Fire Emblem, Metroid Prime.
I'll take a
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade, sorry. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, sorry. The Xeno series, it's so many Gears, Saga, and Chronicles. Like all of that, like I let you have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because just looking at that game, just like this is my day one. Like literally everything that they showed was like day one. Even Kirby and Yoshi is day one. Well, they're more Yoshi over Kirby. But yeah, those are my top three. So I think we probably about cover majorly all the games. Rocket League, I'm glad that it is coming to Switch, but I want to see more, like with their exclusives, the exclusive items, and how crossplay is going to work. So, but the other ones are my three.
I think, kind of wrapping this up, I think Nintendo showed off a lot of good stuff. I think the amiibo that they're releasing for these games, I think is really. I love the Mario ones. I'm really interested in seeing what the champions do for you in Zelda. I've gone out of my way, at least so far, to get all the Zelda stuff for Breath of the Wild, and I still need to find a Skyward Sword and a Majora's Mask character, like, just to get that stuff. I am a little concerned that I won't be able to get those because they're store exclusives, and it's just like, bleh, whatever. But,
store exclusive amiibos are the worst.
Yeah,
because I tried to get the one for the cloud one from, was it Amazon, I think?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, whichever one was the exclusive from them, and it was just terrible because it's just like, well, there goes that one.
Yeah, they got some at Target that I need to go pick up that I don't have yet for the Mario series.
Yeah. I like the Odyssey ones. I think the Odyssey ones are cool. I really like the Metroid ones.
Everybody want the Piranha Plant flower that Princess Peach is holding.
Yeah.
The bouquet, bouquet. Yeah.
I'm really surprised they're not doing Rabbids ones. Like, I'm really surprised they're not doing those. They're just doing the figures, like the $20 and $40 figurines. But $40 for a Rabbid.
But no, can you imagine the nightmares you would have if you had like your Princess Peach Rabbid amiibo and your Donkey Kong one? You'd be like, oh.
Everybody's gonna be buying the Luigi one.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I want. Is the Luigi one. I love in the trailer. He's the dumbest one. Like like I hate the Peach one, but the Luigi one is he's gonna be the most comedic one without being annoying.
Yeah,
I feel like so. But yeah, that's kind of all the Nintendo stuff for today.
Shout out to the Fire Emblems.
Yeah, shout out to Fire
Emblems. I love the Fire Emblem.
Gosh, dude. We've got 2 Fire Emblems coming to Switch. Warriors and, title pending. Fire Emblem for Nintendo Switch.
That'll be probably the day that I end up getting a Switch. Will probably be when they finally are Fire Emblem. This game is coming to Switch.
If they release a Fire Emblem Special Edition Switch, I'm gonna be so sad. Like if they release like a white one, like that. Remember that 3DS that came out with Fates? Like
my brother got that one.
If they release a Switch version of that, I'm just gonna be really sad because Fire Emblem. It's the best. It's my second favorite Nintendo franchise. So.
Oh, I'll have to make a list of which one's my first and which is the last.
Yeah.
Well, no, Mario's the first. Mario takes reign over almost most of the franchise.
I mean, yeah, you gotta love Mario, but I mean, I
just want 3D World 2. That's all I want. 3D World 2 and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker 2 or port to Switch. But
you think they'll ever go back to Galaxy? Go back to the Galaxy series?
Nah.
Probably not because of the success of 3D World.
Yeah. I mean, with Galaxy, I don't think they'll ever do Mario Galaxy 3, but I think they'll implement a lot of stuff that they learned in that game to future Mario games. And
yeah.
I'm glad they're kind of going back to the 64 Sunshine style, to be quite honest with you, with the different kingdoms and the open world stuff. And I think the outfits are interesting. I'm glad Mario gets to do a little bit of dress up again. That's something I missed from. I mean, like 3D World, you got Fire Flower and the cat. Oh, I guess you got the cat suit. Gosh, the cat suit's amazing. But
here we go.
But yeah, so. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Nintendo Pow Block. Remember, you can find me and Eddie V every Tuesday and Friday on your podcast service of choice or on NGR Radio's YouTube page. Ray, plug where we can find you real quick.
Oh, boy. Yay. Okay, so you can find me on Twitter at LRayNY617, so ELREYNY617. You can also find me on all gaming platforms there, as well as Twitch and what else? Oh, find our show, Nerd Overdrive, on YouTube, youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. On SoundCloud, it's by searching for Phoenix Overdrive. All the podcast services by searching for Nerd Overdrive, 2 words. And then we're on Twitter at PHX_Overdrive and Nerd_Overdrive. You find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive. That highlights all of the fun things that we get to do for the sick kids at Children's Miracle Network hospitals and things like that. As well as you could find our community group, facebook.com/groups/PO Nation, where we discuss all the latest and greatest in gaming news and share all things nerd. Thanks, Corey, for having me on. Our Twitch channel also, where we broadcast our podcast Nerd Overdrive live every week via Facebook Live, twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive, as well as youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive/live. So it's a good time. We actually, Corey gets a lot of mentions on our show. I don't think he ever listens to all of our shows to get them. Well, but Ed and Corey and Matt and you guys
always record live on Facebook, and then Lee never puts the audio files up. So like one day I'll just have like 6 Nerd Overdrives show up in my feed, and I'm like, oh, Lee must have remembered to upload the audio files this week. So,
well, something happened with the automatic feed over, and Lee's been trying to get figure it out what's going on with the feed, but I don't think he's been successful in figuring out what the exact hiccup is. And so finally, when he does get it working, finally it'll upload like 2, 3, 4 episodes, and then it'll stop working again. And then it'll end up uploading like 3, 4 more, and then it'll stop, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I love you guys. You guys are the kind of, I met all of you guys and Matt through, like, I think it was like episode 20, I think, was the first time I watched your live stream. And then, we all just kind of became friends after that. And then you were nice enough to invite me on your show like 3 or 4 times. And, well, we still need to get Becky and Lee back on NGR. Becky needs to come on NGR, first of all.
And then, yeah, you should do just a super show, get all of us all at one time.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that'll be a lot of Nerd Overdrive there, definitely.
Yeah, we'll get that. Gosh, that's going to be a 6-person episode now. Like, oh.
He's like, no, Mama, no.
Yeah.
Careful what you ask for, Lee, or Corey with Lee.
Dang.
You have to be careful what you ask for with Lee.
No,
because you're aware. You're aware.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Remember the episode where he wore the Superman underwear? That was...
Exactly. That's what I said. Be careful what you ask for with Lee, because then you get surprises like that.
I need more Lee in my life. Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @ThatRetroCode. You can also hear my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, the Anomalous Radio Network.podbean.com, and other podcast apps. Check me out at World 101 Podcast and read my series, The Moment, at SkirmishFrogs.com. I am getting ready next week to do my feature for July for Optional Opinion, where I'll be talking about Japan and are they making a comeback? we shall see. You guys could tune in for that for next week. And also check in Optional Opinion today, where you guys will hear an actual announcement from me. So, yes, you can check that out.
Yay! Well, you can find me on Instagram at CoreyNHD, Twitch.tv, where if you're watching live right now, twitch.tv/CoreyNHD. You can find this show every Tuesday and Friday at 10 a.m. on your podcast service of choice, or on ngrradio.com, or on NGR Radio's YouTube page. Also, if you're watching live on Twitch right now, stay tuned. We have 2 new special shows coming up. And if you aren't, well, check out our YouTube page and you'll find them there. Remember, you can find me. Ed, Matt, and I have been planning some things, so I'm really excited. Matt's working like a dog. That dude works all the time. But you can also find Matt on John's Brew Review. Also, if you want to hear more of Matt and listen to NGR Radio every Monday at 10, find me there. Ed's there sometimes. Ray's there sometimes. It's just a good time. Anyways,
yes,
that's quite the outro. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching live on Twitch, stay tuned.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Rise above.